our number one choice, and I feel like our staff or George Patton was just so sure that he was going to land Aaron Rodgers that he just went all out, and it blew up in his face. And now people are trying to act like it's the worst trade ever, but that's with the power of hindsight. I mean, people were praising this trade from the very beginning and acting like it was a great decision. It was going to make the Broncos a Super Bowl contender, and it honestly it might have if we got the right coach. I mean, there was talks of us being in talks with Dan Quinn, Kevin O'Connell, and the only reason we jumped the gun with Nathaniel Hackett is because there was rumors coming out that there was another team. People speculate that it was the Vikings, maybe. I don't know. I just like giving Borba crap.
They were in the running.
But
they were in the running.
but there was talks that other teams were desperate in hiring him, and so we jumped the gun and we wanted to make sure we had him on our staff. And I feel like that was our downfall. I mean, Nathaniel Hackett was awful in Buffalo. He didn't even call plays in Green Bay, and to expect him to come to Denver and make good play calls and be able to command this team is just I think is just a little crazy. You combine that with just like half our offense not being there, it's just it's a recipe for disaster.
What happened?
There's a pick.
Hey, all right, so we're live. We started. Real quick, let's just see this beautiful pick off a tip. Okay, almost took it back, but got tackled just short. So Dallas is about to make a run here, probably score before the half, right? And then just smother them down in the second half, and we win per usual. Right, Borba?
Damn, Borba, you should wear another Cowboys jersey for good luck.
No comment.
It's just funny how Cowboys fans think it's their year every year.
Just to stay on.
Like their team it just doesn't matter. It's just their year every year, dude.
Yeah, it's their year every year, dude. It doesn't matter when.
What?
It could be last year's Cowboys team, this year's Cowboys team.
I don't know if you are in the right place to talk. You definitely thought bringing in.
I mean,
Russell Wilson
I'm just saying we've won a Super Bowl in the past
right?
decade. I don't know if the Cowboys can say the same.
When
thing.
that trade happened, what was your initial response though?
Honestly,
from your perspective though on Russell Wilson,
I was hyped.
Happened,
I mean, who wouldn't
happen?
be?
What was your thought? What was your thought process?
I was so honestly I was waiting all day.
From Drew Lock to Russell Wilson.
I ended up taking a fucking nap. I woke up like 8 minutes to that 8 minutes after I got that ESPN fucking notification, and I was hyped. I honestly, but I was expecting to get Aaron Rodgers that whole time though. Like, I was so sold on it. It just seemed like a for sure thing. But I mean, I was still really excited. I mean, I still have flashbacks of that Super Bowl. I mean, blowing us out, and I was just like, you know what, we're Super Bowl contenders, just like everybody else. And it's just, man, it just really shows the glory though. Pete Carroll. I mean, he's just fucking amazing as a head coach, and it's almost just like he's going to be highly regarded, just like almost in a way like Bill Belichick, where he just can elevate players to a certain.
I think so.
100%
standard.
100%.
So like, and I feel like that's also just a huge part on Pete Carroll, and it's I don't know, it's just crazy, you know. Like I said, as a Bronco, but the thing is, I still have hope. Like I think that. I mean, especially with the Niners losing Jimmy G, I'm sorry that happened, but it is what it is. I mean, you got Brock Purdy out there. I mean, I don't care. I'll take an unknown guiding that team and giving us a better chance at a first round pick so we could draft some alignment, because at the end of the day, like, I don't know who you could have back there, but you can't have one starter on the offensive line and have three other offensive linemen that are signed off practice squads or undrafted free agents or late round picks and expect them to perform and protect Russell Wilson. Like, I mean, even Borba saw that one game. He has no time back there. I mean, even like late that game, he had a shot downfield.
No time, huh? That sounds a little familiar.
He had a shot downfield, and it's almost like he has to like predetermine where that receiver is going to be. He has to like pre-launch that ball because he can't really place it. And to anybody watching, I mean, you see crucial drops too from all-pro receiver like Courtland Sutton. It's just crazy to see. I mean, and I feel like that just comes down to discipline. It comes down to coaching. We're the most penalized team in the league. We're the most penalized when it comes to false starts. I mean, those are just stuff that comes down to coaching. And you're right. One penalty is not going to break a team, right? But when it's every week, you're just drawing 6-7 flags a game, and these are low-scoring games. Like those are detrimental to your team, and you're just going to come up with losses. Like,
I'm
sorry.
Are you? Oh, hey Borba, your mic went out, Borba. But no, your mic went out. Hey,
you sound far away now, bro.
I got you.
But like I said, I have faith in Russell Wilson. It's his worst year so far, but like I said, he's got Brandon Johnson. Do you know who that is?
Good.
Probably never
No.
even heard that. Undrafted
Johnny,
free agent.
Johnny.
He's out there on the field every play. You know what I mean?
Denver Broncos representative Johnny. So is the plan to move on from Nathaniel Hackett, or are they? You think
I don't
they're
know
play
if
it
he's
out
gonna
with him
make it
next
till
year?
tomorrow. I mean, we got people like Benjamin Albright, all our beat reporters calling for his head already after today. They're acting like we should be patient because they're right. At the end of the day, like if you fire a coach midseason, what does that do? And the concern for the Broncos is if you fire Nathaniel Hackett, the best position, the best candidate for an interim head coach is our defensive coordinator, Elijah Avero. But as soon as you promote that defensive coordinator to an interim head coach spot, he forfeit the rights to his contract as a defensive coordinator, and he could be picked up by any other team at the offseason. I feel like that's where that hesitation is coming from the Denver Broncos. So they don't want to make that commitment to Elijah Avero, and they want to retain him as a defensive coordinator. So that way, if we go to the offseason, we can kind of go through the offseason candidates. And I think that honestly, we
Why
might
wouldn't
have.
you promote your defensive coordinator though? I mean, that defense is stout, right?
I mean, he's
So you would just
still
think-
relatively new. I think this is his second year as defensive coordinator, and the inexperience is still this is still going to be a huge question mark in regards. And we already know, like, I'm not how hesitant the NFL is when it comes to hiring black head coaches. So, like, I feel like there's that hesitation from the Broncos' perspective, and also with us not having success. And that's why we try to go with the offensive-minded head coach this time around instead of going with the defensive-minded head coach because we had the past two head coaches we've had. But
Hey Johnny,
I just feel
let
like
me
the
give
writing's
you
on
an
the wall.
update. Something you guys don't typically do. We just scored
Yeah.
Or
a
a
touchdown.
touchdown.
Yeah,
All right.
Damn.
let's go.
Yeah, when you got most of your starters out there, it must feel nice.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
I bet your offense feels confident.
So like,
Definitely.
do
Next man
you
up.
think that? So my question is, so you think that the Broncos need an absolute like reset from everything, especially due what's going on with this season?
No, not entirely. I think the only thing that really kind of maybe needs a shakeup, like maybe our wide receivers. I know people were trying to say our wide receivers were deep at the beginning of the year and that we had some of the best, but as you see now, as we've been decimated. I mean, if Tim Patrick can't be on the field, because even though he has been our best receiver these past 2 years, I don't think he's played a full 16. Well, he didn't play a full 17 games last year, and the year before that didn't play a full 16. We just don't. They can't stay on the field. Jerry Jeudy hasn't been healthy. KJ Hamler, I think, has played maybe a cumulative 8 games since he entered the league, and being a second-round pick, that's not what you want to see. I mean, like, it's just one of those things where I feel like our wide receivers need to overhaul, but our running backs right now that we have out there, just so you know, all 3 of them, they weren't even on the roster in the end of the year. I think actually, I think that's a lie now because we just got Mike Boone back. But for like the past few weeks, like since we got rid of Melvin Gordon, just nothing but practice squad players. Our receivers last week, we had Cortland Sutton, and the rest were just practice squad players. If Jerry Jeudy couldn't come back this week, and there's talks about Cortland Sutton being sick, like there was a high chance that today was going to be Kendall Hinton as our number 1 receiver. Like it's just crazy. And I'm just saying, you can't expect success. I'm sorry. Like, I don't care who you trot out there. They're just not going to be successful.
Let's transition to the Bengals because we got Key on here who wants to let us know how good his team's doing. But similar to your team, no offensive line, but Bengal fans aren't making excuses right now.
Yep.
So, what's your response to him having all these excuses when you probably have the worst offensive line in the league?
Yeah, his response to no time, probably the worst offensive line. It was the same exact story last year for Joe Burrow, and he took that team to a Super Bowl. So
we don't like that. That's an excuse, right? We just discussed 7 excuses for 7 minutes.
100%. And honestly, we've had offensive struggles as well with injuries. We had our left and right tackle both go down. We've had Joe Mixon hurt in multiple games. We had Chase out just for the last 3 weeks. We have our number 1 corner who was hurt. Mike Hilton was hurt for a couple games. We've had nothing on defense. So we've had a bunch of skill positions as well. And look at the record. We have a 2 times better record than they do. So it's just that's just how it goes. You either play and you're playing winning football, or you make excuses and you're playing losing football.
Yep.
More of the story, Nathaniel Hackett sucks, right?
Yeah.
Last time I checked, though, Broncos had the most players on IR in the league and
It's
the
true.
most cap the most of their percentage of their cap salary dedicated to IR players.
Didn't Tennessee have like the record for the most injured players last year? It still made the playoffs and I think finished number 1 in the AFC, right?
Yep.
So should we keep going with excuses? Are we going to do tallies?
It's no
Are we gonna
credit.
tally
It's
it
no.
up?
The Broncos are bad regardless. Like I mean, they have a lot of
They're just dysfunctional.
They have scrubs out there and they have bad coaching, but I don't necessarily think that Zach Taylor is the greatest coach either. There was a point where even last season, the beginning of the year, a lot of Bengals fans wanted Zach Taylor fired. So I don't think he's this masterful play caller either.
But that could be an overreaction, though, right? Because
true.
It's barely his third year. So
yes,
Nathaniel Hackett never even called the play in his life.
And I mean, I'm gonna be a little biased because I'm from Nebraska, so Callahan, Zach Taylor, they're very familiar. So I mean, I'm a little biased
Hackett
towards
did call plays in Buffalo. He just had EJ Manuel.
Wow, there you go. Well, so he's had a lot of non-successful years. Dang.
But moral of the story, today was a good way to show that our team is going to be there and is going to be contending. This was a test game for us with injuries. Even with Mixon out, even with our number 1 corner out, we still come out and beat the Chiefs, who have looked pretty much untouchable to most teams. Yeah. So it was a test game, and our offense looked incredible. Our O-line looked incredible. It really just shows that we're going to be there and we're going to be in contention, where a lot of people were kind of iffy on whether we're here to play and we're going to be a contender or not. Yeah.
Hey, Key, do you go into...
the Perine's no scrub, though. Averaged 5 yards per carry.
No, Perine's been playing phenomenal.
Yes,
hey, Key, do you go into every Sunday or every game nervous because of the amount of punishment Joey takes?
No, not really. I feel like it really hasn't been that bad this year. A lot of the sacks that he has this year are from those first couple of weeks, and I feel like honestly, if you went through and looked at the last 5-6 weeks, I really don't feel like it's that bad. He got beat up from the Steelers that first weekend he came back from injury, and he really got beat up by the Cowboys. But that Cowboys defense is legit. I feel like they're going to beat up on anybody.
For sure. But I didn't necessarily mean him being hit because the offensive line's not protecting him. Just kind of similar to what. So me and JB have this conversation about Josh Allen, along with a million other people, I'm sure. It's almost. It's like you enjoy the grit, right? The ground and pound that they do, but it's like, damn, bro, slide sometimes.
Yeah. See, I don't know. That's the difference with Joe, though. I think Joe, he slides majority of the times. There's not a whole lot
more.
Yeah. He slides majority of the times. He's not like Josh Allen. He's just going to run. And he's going to try to truck somebody. That's just how Josh Allen is. And I don't know. It's going to be hard for him to get injured because he's just a big dude. That guy is gigantic. But Burrow's slowly learning, and most time I feel like he does slide. But he gets pounded sometimes when that O-line really gets iffy. But I think it's been a lot better this year. Obviously, compared to last year, it can only go up. You can't get worse than last year.
If you match up with the Chiefs again in the playoffs, what kind of game are you anticipating?
It's going to be
hard
close.
To beat a team twice, right?
We beat them twice last year.
Good point.
So this is three in a row for Burrow against Mahomes, which no other quarterback has done. And I mean, it just shows a lot. I think as a game plan and as a team, we match up really well against the Chiefs. I think their defense really struggles against us. I think we have a very versatile offense that can hit you from pretty much every position. And so I think as a team in general, we match up really well against them. And I think it's always going to be a close game. No team is going to blow each other out. It's always going to be down to the last possession. It's just both teams match up so well together. It's always going to be a good game.
Yeah, for sure. Borba, who would you pick if they play again in the playoffs?
Honestly, at this point, I think I'd pick the Bengals. I don't know. They got I think eventually that, the tides could turn. I mean, Chiefs could steal one, in the playoffs. But, I mean, I'd ride the hot hand. I mean, Bengals got 3 in a row. Why not make it 4 in a row? I don't know. I think the Bengals match up as well as anybody in the AFC. They can beat the Dolphins. They can beat the Bills. And they can beat the Chiefs. They match up. So I think those 3 teams, I'll say 3 teams. I'm not sold on Dolphins yet, but I say those 3 teams can match up with anybody and beat anybody. So, hold on.
Oh, shit. Deshaun Watson? Is he there? I do have a question about the Bengals. I try to follow every team as much as I can, but last year you guys obviously took a massive jump on defense. Cheeto Awuzie was a former Cowboy, so that was I kind of rooted for the Bengals just because I did like Cheeto. But you were saying before the show, is he hurt?
He is. Yeah, he's out for the year.
He's out for the year. How much of an impact does that have? And then where did that jump come from? Is it y'all? Did y'all get like a new DC? Was it part of the signing of Zach Taylor? Just kind of educate us on the Bengals.
Yeah, just kind of all difference. Like even with Zach Taylor, I think Zach Taylor and Callahan both coming in kind of as a core together. I think that in general kind of just elevated. They both kind of have the same mindset defensive wise. And I think that just changed a lot. We still don't, I don't think, really have the greatest defense. We're not a team that's going to go out there and get sacks like the Cowboys. We'll send Hubbard and we'll send our edge guys aren't Micah Parsons. We don't have TJ Watt. We don't have a Myles Garrett. But we just are very solid everywhere, and we play a lot of bend don't break. But we don't send a lot of pressure. We play a lot of just conservative defense. And when we do get turnovers, that's where we can win games. That fumble that Travis Kelce had today, that lost the Chiefs the game. So that's just kind of how we play. But losing Awuzie is huge. That could be, if we had Awuzie this whole year, that could be the difference between going back to the Super Bowl and not going back. Because we had to elevate. We had some safety sometimes playing corners because we're pretty low at that position. So losing him is huge.
Dang, I was just looking up these numbers. So you guys are only giving up 21 points a game. That's pretty impressive for a team that you say is real conservative. So that means their red zone defense is pretty solid, right?
Our red zone defense is good, and our red zone offense has been really good too. I think we have like an 88% over the last I think it was like 20 or 25 red zone opportunities where like 88% of the time we're scoring. So
I like it. Hey, do you want to stay with us and talk these other games, or you were just strictly Bengals?
It don't matter. I can stay in here.
All right, right on. Your other buddy left, Borba. I think
fine.
He got a little mad about the excuse.
Oh, I'm sure he got pissed. He got pissed.
No, I did have a question for him. So recently I just posted, why did the Chargers stink? Or not stink. Yeah, I did say stink. Why do you guys think they what's up with the Chargers? I was looking up this number. They are one of the worst teams at running the ball. They only average, I think, 3 yards a carry, which is terrible, right? Is this another situation like Denver where we blame the head coach? Because there seems like they have no. I don't even know what word I'm looking for. There's no chemistry over there. There's no balance. There's no do you know what they are? Do we know what they are?
I don't think the Chargers have an identity
whatsoever.
Oh, I have an opinion on this for sure.
Go ahead, because coaching looks like he's thinking.
I think coaching is definitely a big say. The Chargers have always been like this. I feel like for the last 10 years, even when they had Phillip Rivers and they had a ton of talented weapons around there, even when the defense is pretty good, they could not ever get it done. The coaching has always just been a problem where they cannot take that next step. But another reason, in my opinion, why I think they are is because Herbert is not what these people think that they are. What he is, he's just not. I think Herbert has gotten so much praise for doing absolutely nothing. And the standard that people hold Herbert to, if you would talk to people at the beginning of the year, people had Herbert in top 5. People were all on the Herbert train, and he is just not what people think he is.
Well, I actually had the Chargers winning the division, which is crazy. So I'm one of those psychopaths that had Herbert based off of expectations. Obviously, he's failed to meet those expectations, but I don't necessarily this is a situation where I wouldn't necessarily just put it all on the quarterback. One of the guys that commented on my post earlier said they are playing with 3 backup tackles. Linemen. But again, when you go back to Joey Burrow, it's hard to use that excuse when we saw his game actually elevate, even without an offensive line. So if you use that same perspective that we would put on Joey Burrow and use it for Justin Herbert, you can't have an excuse whatsoever. It's like, dude, you got to do better. And at the end of the day, none of these games are wins. At the end of the day, you got to win the game. And they're close games. It's not like it's a game where they're just getting blown out. They have the opportunity to win, and they just can't capitalize. For that reason, the coaching staff before it was the same shit. They were losing close games every time, and like he said, right? Like he said, it's been going on since Phillip Rivers, and it's a culture that's never going to change because it's not even a culture that's established. They don't even know what they are.
Yeah, I agree.
They're still stuck in San Diego mentally.
It's hard because I don't think when you don't have a sustainable running game, you don't have a between the tackles back, like a guy like Zeke that can kind of get you the tough yards. You have an Austin Eckler, who's kind of a swing back, kind of outside the tackles type of back. You can't really keep the drives alive longer than they need to be. I don't know. It seems like kind of drives fizzle out, and it's good to have a running game, like a solid running game in place, that can wear out a defense late in games. And that's what they don't have. Like they don't have that that running game that wears out a defense at the end of the game. That's another big thing.
What's crazy is all the moves they made in the offseason, like Khalil
Bro,
Mack,
I think your
right?
mic's muted.
Khalil Mack. I mean, we're still waiting for him to be an X factor over there. Bosa. I mean, they can't. The thing is, they can't stop the run either. I mean, they're giving up almost like 6. I think it's like 7 yards to carry.
Yeah,
which is nuts.
Yeah, that defense should be a lot better than what it is. Like especially with the moves that they made, but I don't know. There's just no excuse for the Chargers too, and that's why so many Chargers fans just don't know what to say because, and it comes down to coaching. But even if you go to like where you look at Austin Eckler and the running game's not really there, Austin Eckler, if you look at like from fantasy perspective, he's number one fantasy running back in fantasy is Austin Eckler. So he's still getting it done running, he's still getting it done catching, and if you look at statistics for Justin Herbert, he's averaging throwing the ball 39 times a game. So this man is out there slinging the ball. That's what he does best, and that's where Justin Herbert gets all his praise, and they're still not winning games with him throwing 39 passes a game.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, you're good.
All right, cool.
Coaches suck right now. That's what it sounds like. It's like every coach. There's
nobody's really situational because a lot of people really force it down on fourth down when you necessarily don't need it.
Yeah, true.
I love the aggressiveness though that they do show. It's just like, but some of the play calling is nuts. Like I'll never understand throwing it on 4th and 1 if you're running the ball effectively. And granted, we just said that they don't run the ball very well, but he did say Eckler is number 1 in fantasy. That's nuts. I didn't know that he was number 1 in fantasy.
Yep, he leads right now.
And they have the worst running game. That's crazy.
Yeah, followed by I think Josh Jacobs is second, followed by Jacobs.
Yeah, Josh Jacobs is second. Yeah.
Bro, that's crazy.
I got him on my fantasy. That's how I know.
What?
I got Josh Jacobs on my fantasy team. That's how I know he's second.
He's turning it up for you.
Yeah, he's killing it. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know who else is killing it? Probably the number 1 receiver in the league right now.
Justin Jefferson.
That,
Not Justin Jefferson.
Oh my God! Here we go, dude.
Stephon Diggs.
Let it sing, bro. Let me hear it. I gotta get
Devontae Adams.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
I thought you were gonna say something else, dude. Okay. I'm glad.
Who Chase is on the case?
No, I still
Tony
think
Romo said.
Devontae's killing it still. He's still.
He is. Yeah. No. Justin's
is.
right there. He's right there. No,
he's 2. He's got to be number 2. Number 3.
I
don't know.
put,
He's top 3.
Yeah, I'd put him either 2 or 3, but he's probably 2 in my book. But I just don't think he's not where Devontae is yet. Devontae's showing why he is the best.
I'm taking Jay Jetta because
no.
Adams has a better quarterback.
What?
No.
You're an idiot, dude.
No way.
No.
We're not calling Derek Carr good. There's no shot.
There's no shot, dude. He's trolling, dude.
Yeah.
There you go with the troll, dude. God.
No. But here's the thing right here that separates Justin Jefferson from Devontae Adams, where he's not. And I was just telling this to Borba. If you go through statistics of the last 3 years, okay, like Justin Jefferson is his first 3 years. So like as a long haul, Justin Jefferson very well could be better. But if you're just comparing the 3 seasons to each other, they're almost identical yard wise. But Devontae Adams has 20 more touchdowns than Justin Jefferson. Which is Devontae Adams is a huge threat. Like there's no one that has the touchdowns that he has. He can do the yards. He can do the touchdowns. He's the best route runner in the NFL.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
He is an all around package. There's a reason why he's just highly coveted like that, and he's showing why he's the best. It's just
100%.
He's a good situational type too, because I mean when they really need him, he comes in clutch.
Absolutely.
He's the reason why the Packers suck.
Yep.
Like there's
100%.
no ifs, ands, or whats about it. Like
nope, 100%.
He is the reason why they suck. And what's even crazier, as Josh is here in the comments, he's a Packers fan. Go Pack, go, as he said, as I showed you guys. But if Devontae Adams stays and they get Christian Watson, right? Like that team might be going on a crazy run right now. For all
they would have a good record. 100%. If Devontae Adams is on that team, they would have a positive record.
But you know what? Packer fans deserve this shit. Them spoiled brats, bro. We don't
Look at
care
that
about
smile Borba
regular
has.
season. Well, you don't even have. There's not even a regular season to care about this year right now.
Yeah.
I mean, they're worried about whether their quarterback's going to go take ayahuasca or not. That's all they're worried about right now. The quarterback doesn't even like the coach. Matt LaFleur might not even be there next year. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in Green Bay. But that cheese is melting quick, boys, quick. I do have a question for you, Keith, before we move on from the Bengals completely. Super Bowl, yeah?
I think it's a good shot. Yeah, I think we're going to be in contention. And there'll obviously be a lot of close games. I think the hardest team that we would have to face up against, I think, is going to be the Bills. I think the Bills is a very tough matchup because of the pressure they can put on us and teams that can get edge pressure. And if it didn't show in the Super Bowl, Von Miller is just a kryptonite for everyone. That guy is a freak. If he's back and around that time, any edge pressure against the Bengals where we have like Jonah Williams, it's going to be problems. And I think just in general, the Bills defense will give us the most problems.
So, especially with the win that you guys got off of Kansas City, like, do you think that you guys have a strong hold against them? Do you think even if they make any adjustments towards the Bengals?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely have their number. I think even my cousin's a big Chiefs fan. I mean, he even said it today too. He's like, you guys just have our number at the moment. Not saying that can't change. And there's Andy Reid's such a genius as a head coach. He's going to come with adjustments. They came with adjustments today that were different from last year. Mm-hmm. But obviously it's vice versa. We did a lot of different things. We sent a lot more pressure than we did last year to them, and it's always going to be a chess match. And they'll always come down to little turnovers in the games and those big games like that with good teams.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, boys. Let's talk about the team that I hate the most. Philly.
Trash.
Bobby Butcher just put
Bobby Boucher, dude.
When we're having or Boucher, is that what you said?
I think that's a Boucher. Yeah.
I said Butcher.
He won the Bourbon Bowl.
Stupid.
But when we were talking about wide receivers, he threw in AJ Brown, low weak
AJ
face.
Brown.
But dog, right?
He's a dog.
He's a dog.
Yeah, he's a little steroid dog, but that's about it.
Whoa.
Shots fired.
Go ahead.
That's aggressive.
No, AJ Brown's balling now. He's doing well. I mean, he's not in conversation with Justin Jefferson and Devontae Adams. We're not going to act like that.
So.
But
no. When it comes to route running and all that stuff, no, he can definitely win the 50-50 balls. He's got speed. He can stretch the field, and he's very good. Getting the ball, getting the ball single coverage, he's going to win that matchup most of the time. That's where you see a huge. That's the biggest thing that I noticed with AJ Brown.
The biggest comparison,
balls, he comes down with them.
The biggest comparison for AJ Brown, and it's about as much of a comparison as you get, is he's a modern day Andre Johnson. He is modern day Andre Johnson to a T. I mean, he's not Calvin Johnson level. He's not those players that were mega up there back then, but Andre Johnson was no scrub. He was a beast. He would win those 1v1s. He was a big, tall receiver.
And he was physical, strong.
Physical receiver. That's exactly what AJ Brown is.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good comparison.
Comparison too.
Yeah. Not the best route runner, but he can win those 50-50 balls.
But that's what they need on that team, and that's why that team succeeded, because Devontae Smith is one of the best route runners in the NFL. He is underrated as far as route running. He can beat anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Did Philly, after today's, what's y'all's takeaway from today? Like mine, real quick, is they stopped the run. Like they stopped the run. Their only question mark.
They brought in two big guys down there in the middle. So
and they got Jordan Davis back.
Yep.
So golly, that's hard to run against. If you have Jordan Davis, and Linval Joseph on your line.
Yep.
Oh my God, dude. Yep. Even though Linval's a little bit older and Sue's a little bit older, that's tough, dude. That's tough. It's technique. When you get older, you get smarter too. Like it's a lot of technique, and they're gonna hold their ground against any offensive line and make it hard for you to run the ball against them. So that's kind of scary. That's annoying.
Well, I can tell you right now.
Bro. I'm thinking
it's annoying thinking about it, dude. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of something creative to say, like, Zeke's gonna eat him up, blah blah blah. But it's kind of like, fuck, like, that's gonna be a game where Dak has to play his best game, and I think come December, because that team is beatable.
He has to.
Well, we've seen it.
That's a game right there where you're gonna have to see is Dak. This is why we pay Dak. Like we pay Dak to be. Yeah, we pay Dak to fucking be a game manager against Indy, but against Philly. a big time game, he's got to put in that work. He's got to put
and
that contract to use.
And that's why we want to get Odell. I think that's why you want that push for Odell, is you want to add that weapon, not necessarily because you have to use it, but you'd rather have it and need it than need it and not have it.
Want
right?
it. It's more. I think I feel more of it's just a cushion, just because. I mean, the CeeDee Lamb's been getting more attention on it. Michael Gallup's always there, so I'm thinking if they add on Odell Beckham, it's kind of more of an extra threat. I wouldn't say like a big threat, but it's more easier for Dak to get the ball if he doesn't throw it to the opposite team.
You just threw a shot at the quarterback.
I'm sorry, but I mean, after the two interceptions they got right there during Indy's game, I mean, come on.
Oh, he threw 2?
That from what I seen, yeah.
Oh, that's tough.
But I mean, like I said,
Dak hasn't looked very good.
It's just for me. I think it's just more of a cushion because it's another receiver that he can actually depend on. You know what I mean?
At the end of the day, Philly is put all their chips in on Jalen Hurts. Like Jalen Hurts is the only thing that's going to be holding them back. That's the only reason they lose. And I mean, like right now, I know he's a part of the MVP conversation and whatnot, but I mean, we've seen cracks there. We've seen them slightly crumble and kind of come out. I mean,
pressure. That's all they need. Pressure.
Indy had their number. A week ago or something.
And
but
what comes down to the Eagles, the only thing that's why the Eagles are so good right now is because no one can stop the run. If you stop the run from the Eagles, if Miles Sanders is shut down, they can't run the RPO. They can't. Miles Sanders is not getting yards. That offense starts to look real bad when they have to throw all the time. They look shaky, and they've had a lot of close games. But when they are able to run the ball and everyone has to stack because they can beat you from 3 different runs in an RPO, then that offense is scary because then you got A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith out there by themselves.
Dallas Goedert's going to be coming back healthy too. Like that's a
tight end weapon. But to be honest, I'm not saying it's the best way to play it, but I would prefer having those one-on-ones and forcing Jalen Hurts to throw it than him run it. I mean, like they just pieced up Green Bay off of my bad, not Green Bay. Who'd they play last week?
Yeah, Green Bay.
And then against Indianapolis, he had those 2 runs, right? And then they ended up driving down and winning the game. But it was based off of those 2 runs. Like it's that simple. Like if you allow him to get outside the pocket, he's going to kill us. But he hasn't shown that he can be consistent in the pocket.
Yeah, but the Colts played the run very well, and then the Colts were able to have safety help all over the field, and the Colts are number 1 in the pass right now. And so if playing that where he has to throw the ball, they're number 1 in the pass, they can't really get the run going. It was a close game. It's a gritty game. That's what the Cowboys could do the same thing. If the Cowboys, they have a pretty good interior, they can shut down that run and shut down Hurts from getting outside the pocket, make him to make throws where you guys can have safety help over the top. You can force him into some turnovers.
Yeah, for sure. You want to know what it kind of reminds me of is similar to the Super Bowl with the Rams and the Bengals. Like, because you guys have so many freaking weapons, right? But Aaron Donald, game record, he's really the reason the Rams really stayed in that game or won the game.
Aaron Donald,
Michael Parsons, a little similarity there.
In a sense, because even during the last Eagles Cowboys game, I mean, they technically double teamed or not even technically, but they double teamed Michael Parsons the entire time. So that kind of just that gave him a harder time to throw in that pressure. So, I mean, I don't know. For me, I think it'd have to be where the other side of the ball, aside from where Michael Parsons has to kind of step up their game to kind of pressure in Hurts just to throw the ball instead.
Well,
what are we talking about? Come December, Dallas is gonna rout them. Let's be real. We got the better
Dallas is gonna rout who?
We got the better quarterback.
Wait, you're talking about Philly?
Yeah, Dallas is gonna rout him in December.
Really?
No.
I don't know how I feel about saying Dak is a better quarterback.
I mean, but
Jalen Hurts hasn't
you just literally said that. You said that Kirk was going to rock all over him, and we saw how that game came out. So
who cares? That's one game, dude. I would love to see it. We just didn't adjust that game.
Here's the thing, though, with the thing with the Eagles. The thing with the Eagles here,
it is.
Even when
Dak didn't do shit. Dak didn't do nothing.
I just got bored of that.
Dak didn't do nothing to beat us that game.
What are you talking about?
He didn't do nothing to beat us that game.
Manage the game.
He managed the game. Really exactly. He didn't
beat us.
That's
a CEO,
the running game,
Borba.
Tony Pollard, the running game, and your defense beat us. Dak didn't beat us. Let's get that straight. If Dak beat us, then we're in trouble.
Okay. The real scary thing with the Eagles, though, and it should show of when Dallas played them last, Okay, now we're talking about Micah Parsons and how, but they mixed up so much with Micah Parsons. The Cowboys came in thinking that he was going to get double teamed every single play, and that he was going to see the same looks. There was times they would leave him unblocked in the RPO, and the Eagles were able to just make the right reads, and that's scary. That a team can make coaching adjustments like that and do something like that with a player like Micah Parsons that no one else has done. There's a lot of plays where he wasn't even getting blocked. They were letting him make decisions on who he wanted to pick, and they were just tearing up the Cowboys defense.
Michael went on the Pivot podcast. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the Pivot, but it's with Ryan Clark and Fred Taylor. He talked about how that's one of his biggest, or that's one thing that he's focusing on, making those in-game adjustments, because he has seen that Philly game, for example, where they are throwing shit that he hasn't seen, and he's been caught off guard to where he didn't necessarily know how to adjust, because he almost like was forcing it to be like he wanted to. He's a speed rusher, so he's just going to keep using that same. He was using the same move to try to get through, but it was like it wasn't working, so he just got frustrated with himself.
They're using his greatest strength to his weakness. That's kind of what Philly did, is kind of exploit him. See if you can make the right reads. We're going to come at you with what we know, what we are great at doing. Let's see if you can stop what we're great at doing.
But did Philly just call their best game though? And can they recreate that? That's the thing, though.
I don't know. See, but that's the thing, though, because now
they caught him off guard.
If he tries to adjust to that and then they don't do it, it's just he's going to keep them on their toes a lot. I think Micah Parsons is great, but you got to remember Micah Parsons is very inexperienced. So a lot of those things, when those come, he can look flustered a lot in that. And he's a great pass rusher, elite, probably the best pass rusher there is in the NFL. But when it comes to little things like that where he's unfamiliar, he doesn't look that good. If you have to force him to cover, or if you have to force him to outside the pocket when it's not where he's rushing the quarterback, he can be exploited a little bit. So they did the right thing doing it. And if they mix it up again, they're not going to come with the same game plan. I don't think anybody really does that.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see how Dan Quinn reacts, because at the end of the day, it is kind of on Dan Quinn to also put Micah Parsons in the best situations whenever they are when they're attacking him like they were. So come December, that game is going to get real juicy.
Yeah, that'll be a real good game. I'm looking forward to see that game again.
Key, do you think Philly wins the division?
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Hey, shout out Luis. Look, wow, that John guy knows his stuff. Real knowledge right there. John, and look, followed by John Borba. Thanks.
I just had to.
Hey, Key, were you the one that said next week you're gonna show the face?
That was Vosbury. That was the Broncos delusional fan.
That's the Bronco guy.
He'll be on there though. I'm sure.
No, I could definitely throw up webcam next time too. I could have threw it up this time too, but we'll throw it up next time.
Hey, so your other friend, the Broncos fan, Mr. Unlimited. So we're gonna call him Mr. Excuses.
Mr. Excuses, dude.
Yeah, that's
on the show. It's a great name.
Mr. Excuses.
Yeah,
it's a great name.
San Francisco, Jimmy Garoppolo broke his foot. Are you guys as nervous? I know JB, we were talking last week about probably the biggest threat would be San Francisco. Do you feel less tense about that matchup?
Yeah, just slightly. But because the way that scheme is set up, Shanahan's going to put his superstars in the best position to win that game. Like, you talk about ultimate quarterback management. Like, if that what's his name? Perky, Perky. Cody Perky, whatever. I don't know. I don't know. But if he can just manage the game and get the superstars involved, do what he needs to do. You don't have to force anything. No. You got a top top 6 defense.
He kind of showed it when
he's accurate with the ball. Yeah, he's accurate with the ball, and they're putting like you saw right there when he hit McCaffrey on that short swing route to the left. That's all kind of personnel matchup. He saw what the defense gave him, and he's taking what the defense gave him. You know what I mean? It's kind of comes down to that. So in a sense, you are a little less nervous, but they have such a good system put in place that I think any kind of QB can step in that's competent and can make the right decisions 100%. And is accurate with the football. They don't really lose too much of a step. Jimmy G.
They don't lose nothing.
I don't think so either because he was confident throwing tight passes in that game. He's starting to build a rhythm. You start getting confidence, you can make some of those system throws, and that's all this. That's part of the system. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's all you
So
need.
you can make those throws. You can make those throws. Now, where things might start changing is if teams decide to pressure a certain way. But I don't know. It's just so hard because that team can do so much with Debo in the backfield and McCaffrey in the backfield. And you got Kittle. That's a mismatch nightmare. So I don't know.
Let me give you a little statistic here, though, because I like stats, okay? And this will show you with Jimmy G, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So with Jimmy G at the helm, he is thrown for over 250 yards twice with the 49ers. I don't think it matters who you throw in that system. That is a 70-30 run system with Debo, with Christian McCaffrey. It don't matter who it is there. I don't think Jimmy G is really even that special in that offense. They're a run first team, so I don't think it matters. As long as they run good and the defense plays good, it's going to be the same team.
I don't know about just throwing anybody in that system though. Because at the beginning of the season, we saw San Francisco struggle with Trey Lance. Is that because they were trying to do too much?
Yeah, a pretty small sample size though. What, 2 weeks?
Yeah, I guess that's true. And I guess
Joe Burrow threw 4 picks and fumbled the ball once in his first game, and then we lost the second week too. And everyone was, it's a small sample size too, and people are freaking out. And now he has 3 picks since then, and that's
Peyton Manning had one of the worst rookie seasons of all time, and then now look at him.
Yeah, small sample size.
Sample size, yeah, makes sense. Yeah, so I think that's interesting. So, and you see that God, what is his name, dude? Mr. Irrelevant. I'm just gonna call him Mr. Irrelevant, dude. Berkey, whatever. I don't know. Mr. Irrelevant. All he's gonna do is make the No, he really is Mr. Irrelevant. That's gonna be his nickname because he was last pick. So the draft.
Coming down to it, because even when he got into the game, to me, what I saw is that the offense did kind of switch it up a little bit, play conservative, because it was mostly just short passes into the middle, short passes. Like he did thread the needle a couple of times, but it was just nothing but safe passes. Is what I thought.
Yeah.
So I think honestly, coming these next couple of games for San Francisco is that they're going to have to just play conservative ball.
Is that going to be enough?
Yeah,
is that going to be enough to win though?
Do they though? Do they? Like y'all just said, it's plug and play.
Yeah,
that offense you can already say is technically conservative because they're
really
so run heavy.
Yep. But hey, what's his name threw today for 210 yards? He threw for 210 yards passing. Their third string quarterback. So
did that shit on accident.
He came in 25 of 37. Like those are that you're pretty much looking at Jimmy G stats right there. 25, 37, 210 yards. That's exactly what Jimmy G puts up. I mean,
that's exactly what he puts up.
Are we going to see Mr. Irrelevant at Golden State games getting pictures with the dance girls like Jimmy Garoppolo was? Is that what's happening?
What you want to do right there, your wide receiver threat right there is Brandon Ayuk. You put him, you kind of put him in your mismatch. You move him around the field. That's what they do. Put him in the slot, whatever. He'll make up possession catches for you, move the chains, and then you got George Kittle that you can force the ball to, and he can win that matchup. And I'm pretty sure this guy's seen it. I mean, Jimmy G does it. There's a formula and it's put in place, and he's just got to be confident. It's all on him to make the throw. Be confident with the throw. Put the ball in a good spot.
And they're going to force feed McCaffrey, who's one of the most talented running backs that have come to the NFL in a long time. He can do everything. They're going to force him the ball when they need to, and he's just an absolute stud.
So, biggest downfall then? What do you think that could be for San Francisco then?
The quarterback.
Okay. I think
at the end of the day, when you're deep in the playoffs, yes, it might be the quarterback. Yeah.
Well, the biggest downfall for them is that the next probably 4 weeks they play some pretty
tough teams. All playoff teams. Yeah, all contenders.
Okay.
So,
and then the only thing else that you might call a weakness on that team is their secondary. Their secondary kind of gets beat up a little bit, but that's if the pass rush isn't getting to. Their front seven is crazy, Bosa and Fred Warner and all those guys, but their secondary can be picked on a little bit. So that's another weakness.
This is kind of crazy when you think about it. The Niners could easily not make the playoffs.
They could. They could. That's tough because who do they got?
They got Tampa.
Yep.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, they got Tampa Bay, Seattle, Washington, Raiders, and then Arizona.
Those are tough games.
Those are all gritty games.
Yeah, and they're gonna.
The Seattle one is in Seattle.
Yep.
So that
might be
really
for the
tough.
division. That might be for the division at that point.
Yeah, Colts just scored to make this tight game here.
Uh-oh.
That's what I need because I have Dak and CeeDee Lamb playing right now in my playoffs. So
we just gotta run the ball.
No. We do not run the ball. We pass the ball.
We passed the bar here to win the game.
That's how you know he's an AFC guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Throw the ball. Hey, so I was telling Borba last week, I think that the Vikings would be better suited in the AFC because of the way they play. You think that's valid?
I think.
Y'all don't have dogs over there.
What?
Y'all play that conservative ass defense.
There's no way that we think the NFC is better than the AFC. There's no way.
What?
No,
Because you guys got a couple guys that can throw the ball.
I think the Bengals, Chiefs, and Bills can beat anybody in the NFC any day.
The Niners could beat all three of them.
The Niners would.
I don't know.
Please stop.
With Jimmy Garoppolo, the Niners beat all three of them.
Jimmy Garoppolo would rather show up to a porn shoot than the football game.
Yeah, he's gonna show up to that porn shoot with the W.
Big fat dub.
True.
I don't know, dude. That's.
Oh, I don't know. Well, the Vikings, they're doing have a really good record for 1 year. So like I'm not where we're just throw them wherever they are and they're gonna succeed yet. But I mean they're having a good year.
Hey, I hope the Lions get.
We're bend but don't break. That's the kind of defense we play.
That's what we play too.
Yeah, and it's very optimistic. Like we get a lot of turnovers because we have veterans in the right spot. We have a good safety combo.
You do, yeah.
Harrison Smith and Cam Bynum are always making plays. Patrick Peterson is very instinctual. I have to see us get it creative on defense. We got to send blitz. We got to get Zadarius Smith and Danielle Hunter like more opportunity to get at the quarterback. We sent a full out cover zero blitz on Mike White. Danielle Hunter blew him up, and that was our like only blitz of the game. We got to be more creative. Like, yeah, it's cool to play umbrella defense and have a great red zone defense, but I mean you gotta get some stops every now and then because these one score games.
I don't mean to interrupt y'all. Can y'all hear me? Because they keep kicking me out. Okay, cool. Because it keeps kicking me out for some reason.
Yeah. These one-score games to get tiring. Like, they got to be mentally tiring. Like, after 7 games, after we were on that 7-game streak and then playing the Cowboys, like, especially after that Buffalo game, it was killer. Like, you just can't play like that all year. But it's good that we lost. It's good that we got beat.
And don't forget, y'all forgot y'all's left tackle, too. He was hurt.
Yeah, he was hurt. But since that left tackle, we've played against Matthew Judon, great 13 sacks on the year. A very good top 4 defense today in the Jets. Kirk Cousins been clean. Been clean.
I think it's
We've
honestly
adjusted very well.
You have a pretty big game next week, honestly. A lot of people write off the Lions, but the Lions have been playing really good football.
Lions shocked the hell out of me today.
Lions have been playing really good football, and their offense has been red hot, and your defense has been pretty iffy. So I think next week will be a big test game for you guys.
Borba,
I'm scared. I'm nervous about that one.
Borba, as Key makes that comment about you guys' defense being a little shaky, right before the show started, we were talking about y'all's defense coordinator making a statement. What was that?
He said he doesn't care how many yards we give up as long as we play great red zone defense. He doesn't care. We gave up 500 yards to the Jets today. But we got stops in the red zone. We got a turnover in the red zone.
Your red zone defense your percentage just went up literally to the sky.
Insane. But here's the thing. If we play a red zone offense like the Cowboys, you killed us in the red zone. Zeke just nailed it, within 5 yards. Killed us. If we play against a better quarterback in the red zone, like in the playoffs, like we're going to be going against, probably Geno Smith first round, who can get the ball. He's not nothing to sleep on. Second round, we might get Dallas or somebody like that, somebody that's good in the red zone, and that's tough. So we got to be more creative on defense. We got to be more aggressive on defense. Get some more creative.
Borba, I don't know.
Put Harrison Smith in the perfect position to make plays, and that's what they did today.
Know, Renee.
Which honestly kind of helped.
Your defensive coordinator saying that, bro, is nuts. Like that's a loser mentality. What was that coach that said? We play to win the game.
Oh,
what are y'all doing?
Herman.
I thought it was
Herman Edwards.
Y'all are playing not to lose. What
Herman Edwards? I just said it.
What are y'all? What are y'all?
That's why every game is close. I believe it's literally our defense and the way we run our defense.
So imagine if you just play to win. Be a little
I could see
aggressive.
that. I could see that though. Like I think the Vikings have always been that way though. Even when you guys had like Diggs and you guys always, even on offense, you're not the most take shots down there. Even your defense, you play a lot of conservative. That's kind of how you guys play football. But I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing to have that statement. I think in general, if you are, he's very much making a statement. However, we can do it. We're going to win the game. Like no matter if we give up 650 yards and we win the game, we won the game, and that's all that matters. It don't matter how ugly it is. If you win the game, you win the game.
The good thing about our defense is we
that's
can get
true.
turnovers. I like that.
That's 100% true until you fucking lose the game.
That's true.
But we haven't lost, so it's hard to say that. We haven't lost a
to,
game like that this year.
Not to pick at you here, but like I feel like you felt that statement because you guys play the same way.
Yeah, but we just don't give up the yards and stuff that they do. Even though we play like bend don't break, we're still pretty like statistic wise throughout like passing and run D. Like we're pretty good. We're really good at run D, and passing we're kind of middle of the pack, even with not that great of a like secondary. Some people hurt, but I mean it's a different story if you're like fucking 32nd in every single statistic. Then you might need to be trying to do something. But the Vikings still force turnovers and like they still get sacks. Like it's not like they're last in the league and everything. Then it's like, okay, you're not making any adjustments at all. You're bound to lose.
Well, it's because the turnovers are coming, right? But what happens?
Turnovers are coming.
But what happens when they don't?
That's
Our
true.
offense has to score. Our offense has to score. And then
obviously, we could say that about anything, right? You could say what if Micah doesn't perform?
You see this 4-game stretch that we just went. We just played the 4 best defenses in football statistically. Scored 3 points against the Cowboys, but other than that, we put up 33 against the Patriots, 27 against the Jets, and 33 against the Bills. And they're all statistically top 5 defenses in the league, so we can hold our own. Yeah, so I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see when the games really matter. In the playoffs. God, I just know if we get Geno Smith first round or something like that, he's going to light us up for over 300. Like he's been doing it half the year already. So it's just it's going to be tough.
Playoff football is a whole different story. So
that's why like especially like a team like Pete
Are you
Carroll,
so handicapping already?
No, I'm just it's going to be so frustrating when I'm watching Geno Smith dice up our secondary for 300 yards while our guys are just they're not. I don't know. The way we literally play, our defense plays as long as y'all win. I know, but our defense plays where they catch the ball in front of us and we make the tackle.
We'll give lack of 6-7 yards on your own team. Fucking blows my mind.
Yeah, but it's frustrating to see, dude. Because
I honestly feel like
we had a defense that was like, we want the ball back. Like we're gonna stop you and get the ball back. When our defense was in our prime,
100%.
And we got after the quarterback. So I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's
this
because
is
you
a frustrating
had a
defense
freak at defensive end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had Everson Griffin. Danielle Hunter was healthy and younger, and he was freaking a beast. Our linebackers were good. Harrison Smith, Xavier Rhodes was lockdown. Xavier Rhodes, like that was. Man, that seems like an eternity ago.
I think just in general, though, I just don't. Your defense is not. It's nothing like crazy special. I think in general, you just got to kind of take what you get.
Yeah, at least this year. At least this year until we.
I think the thing you guys got to worry about in the playoffs is your offense. The offense, when it comes to playoff football, is always one that it's always different. Like there might be teams that come out there and double team Justin Jefferson the whole fucking half.
Yeah, and that's going to change a lot.
Yep.
So yeah, that's going to be scary because you're one and done in the playoffs. So teams are going to literally game plan.
Maybe.
What happened?
No, it hit the ground.
Is it really that close? It's a 1-point game right now?
Yeah, bro.
Oh, damn.
We're going through it right now.
Dude.
We're going through it.
Please be incomplete.
Man. Turn the drive on, dude. Let me see. I got the TV in the living room, dude.
Oh, there's a penalty.
I'm at a buddy's house, so I can't. I'm on my phone, so I can't watch it.
It's all right. There's a penalty anyway.
Here, I'll throw it up on here real quick. Borba, I don't.
You were really baffled about this, man.
Your lack of confidence just is. Why are we so?
It's not lack of confidence. It's just our defense. Though. I know it's.
Geno Smith might not even make it in the playoffs.
Okay, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. Like we cannot play. Our offense comes out firing. Like we're good. Third quarter, we laid a goose egg today in the third quarter. Like we got to play 4 quarters of clean offensive football. If we play 4 quarters then I'm not worried about our defense giving up 400 yards. I don't care.
I got this. Borba,
That's
because I can relate to this 100% because listen, this is what you have to come to realize, and this is not him having lack of confidence. It's just the realization that his team and his defense, because the Bengals are the same way. You will never get 4 quarters out of both of those teams for defense. You're not. And the realization of it is that at any game, like how when they played the Cowboys, their defense can absolutely just get absolutely torched. We are the same way. The Vikings are the same way. There's certain defenses that are just not that good that that in any given day on a certain team, they can just get absolutely torched and the game is just over.
Yeah. And especially like how we played against the Cowboys, we couldn't adjust offensively. And then after those couple drives, like we were just getting killed. Kirk was getting killed. Couldn't even get to the top of his drop back. Like it was bad. Those are the games that we have to be prepared for in the playoffs. Like we have to be prepared for a Dallas pass rush. We have to be prepared for an Eagles RPO scheme. We got to be prepared for 49ers. They're wide back, McCaffrey, Debo, all that crap. We got to be prepared for these schemes. And we got to. So if we get torched, it's going to be a long day. Because I haven't seen. I think I've seen one game from the Vikings all year where they
the lack of confidence comes.
Great offense. 4 quarters of great offense. I've seen that one game, and that was in the Patriots game. One game where we had 4 quarters of good offense. I felt good the entire game about our offense. We weren't getting stopped.
When it rains, it pours for our defense.
All of us, we can all legit say that. None of our team plays a full 4 quarters. A lot of them haven't. Right now, we could say the same thing about Dallas right now. It's crazy right now that we're only up by 1. We're driving down, about to score, and then probably going to break it open, of course, as expected. But the thing for you, Borba, your lack of confidence comes from your quarterback.
What does it, dude?
Damn.
No.
I tell you, man, that Dak jersey looks good on you, Borba. I'm telling you.
This might have been
bro. Listen to me.
Most inaccurate game.
Listen
but
to
other
me.
than
Borba,
that,
listen.
Kirk played great all season.
Okay.
Kirk is not my issue in the 4th quarter. While we lose, no. It is all 100% defense. That's the only thing I'm scared about.
No,
I'm not scared about Kirk in the 4th.
You can look at his eyes into his soul, and he knows he's scared about having Kirk in the playoffs. He knows it.
No way.
He knows it.
Because look what happened last time. We beat the Super Bowl favorite, New Orleans Saints with Drew Brees, 13-3 team. Kirk did the thing. He brought him down the field.
Then what?
They won the game. We won the game.
Yeah, then what happened after that?
Then what?
Yeah, we played the 49ers, and we couldn't stop them. And their defense was so locked down, we couldn't get nothing going.
Yeah, what was Kirk's stats that game?
We couldn't get nothing. We had no offensive line. He was pressured almost as bad as this Cowboys game that happened a few weeks ago. That's the downfall. But we have the offensive line. We have the offensive line now. When we are healthy, which we are going to be healthy in the playoffs, we have the offensive line that can keep Kirk up. I don't care if it's against 49ers first round or second round. I don't care who we play. We can go against Dallas again. I don't care. We're going to adjust, and I feel confident about Kirk. I have no doubts about Kirk in the playoffs. Clip it right now. I have no doubts. I have no doubts about Kirk in the playoffs. We lose the playoffs because of our defense.
Bro.
That's all I say. All
right, JB. All right. I'm gonna clip that and send it to you. That way you can practice that because your inconsistency is as bad as your quarterback. Just kidding.
Oh my God.
Kirk Cousins hasn't had a good year, but your inconsistency, bro, you just were talking about how scared you were about Geno Smith coming and shredding you guys. And then now you're giving this big old speech.
Shredding the defense.
It sounds like you're nervous.
Shredding the defense.
You're nervous as shit.
I just said, you brought up Kirk Cousins. And I said, no, I'm not nervous about Kirk Cousins at all. Kirk Cousins is the one area of the football team where I'm not worried about. Okay?
It's your offense.
I'm worried about.
Maybe I'm just not watching you guys at all. But I feel like you guys just, like you just said it. You guys can't put 4 quarters together.
Yes, and that's just
here, son.
I don't know what that is, but I don't know. Because Kirk got sacked. Kirk got pressured a lot. I don't know. For some reason, he got sacked twice in the 3rd quarter. It kind of slowed down our offense that 3rd quarter. We got no momentum. Laid a goose egg that quarter. So we got to keep Kirk up. If our offensive line can be consistent and healthy, once it gets healthy, we still have our left tackle that's injured, but I think he'll be back next week. So it'll be a big game.
My biggest thing is does all your thought about that go right out the window if say he gets hurt again? Does your thought process of everything with that?
Oh, then I'm well, it depends on the matchup because we've adjusted well against every defense that we played since
Michael
Dallas
Gallup, moss him, boys.
with our
what you
with
want,
our
boys?
adjustments.
What you
So
want?
and they all have good pass rushes. The teams that we just played, New England, Jets, all those teams, they all have good pass
Borba,
rushers.
Michael's telling her.
I'm not worried about like the way we. I'm not worried about our offensive line when we're healthy.
Borba.
But right now, I'm a little worried about it, and it also depends on our matchup. If we're not healthy, but
Oof.
I think we'll be healthy come playoff time. Our offensive line.
So what you're saying is that you're more comfortable when your team is fully healthy instead of bits and pieces missing here and there.
I just want a healthy offensive line. just give me my left tackle, and we'll be good.
Key.
If we lose because our
Yep.
offense shits the bed, then it's Kirk Cousins' fault. It's got to be Kirk Cousins' fault. But until then, I have full 100% confidence in him. Like Kirk Cousins has not costed us a game this year.
You have a love relationship with
He
Kirk.
did play bad against Philly. That was his first game.
But
I don't know why we made those play calls for Kirk to. I don't know why he was forcing it in the end zone.
so it's a love-hate relationship with Kirk then, pretty much.
No. It's a
Okay.
love. All love. For
Michael
the past
Gallup.
2.5 years, it's been all love for Kirk.
Borba.
Touchdown.
Borba.
He sounded so depressed.
Borba.
What? I'm right here.
Oh, Michael Gallup just told us how tall you were on national television.
Damn.
You're stupid.
All right.
I'm sorry, brother. All right, Key. I appreciate you joining us, brother. Hopefully you can join us again. You guys are going on a hell of a run. I'm rooting for you also. Who Day, right? Who Day Nation.
That's right.
See you, man. Appreciate you.
Yep. Later.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Damn. And then there was 3, just like the amount of people that are watching us. Boys, the Cowboys are legit. Our defense is beautiful. Borba, I'm not nervous whatsoever. I'm looking forward to Christmas Eve because we are going to stir up a can of whoop ass on the Philadelphia Eagles.
It's
I
going to
can't
be a
wait.
good Christmas present.
I can't wait.
Santa's going
I
to
don't know about
deliver.
all that.
Wait.
Santa
Boys,
is gonna
next
deliver.
week, got a massive game because we do need the Vikings to lose. So why not? Why not Detroit? Why not? Why not Detroit, Borba? Also, 49ers might not even make the playoffs. That's a valid take.
You never know. But for them not to make the playoffs, the Redskins, the Commanders, they kind of can't win anymore.
I mean, they came off a tie today, which is weird.
Yeah, so like if Commanders like drop like 2 games, they're probably not going to make the playoffs.
So does
And,
I mean,
and the Seahawks and the Niners will probably make the playoffs.
So my question is this, and I mean, I don't know, maybe this may be a dumb question, but then like since they both tied, like does that affect?
Well, yeah, right now Washington is out of the playoffs now because they tied.
Okay.
And New York is still in. They're the 6th seed.
Mm-hmm.
So say New York keeps losing. Say Washington keeps losing. Seattle and 49ers keep going back and forth, winning and losing. There might be 2 teams from the West in there. So you might get Seattle or 49ers as a wild card as that 7th seed. That's going to be tough. Or they might move up to the 6th seed because Giants don't look that good lately. So Giants might
in the
fall.
wild card run. Okay, I get you.
Yeah.
Here's what it looks like right now, JB.
Yeah.
So then they're still in the hunt then, because you said they
They're
were
still in the hunt.
out. Okay.
And technically, Packers are still in the hunt too. They're 5-7, so they should be right over
hell
Detroit
no, man.
right there.
San Francisco is making the playoffs. There's no way they drop
They have
all those
to.
games.
No,
There's
if they go 10-7, if San Francisco goes 10-7 the rest of the way, they still make the playoffs. Now, do they win the division? Probably not. That means they probably lost to Seattle. I can see Seattle going 10-7. I can see both teams going 10-7. But I think they both make the playoffs. Seattle and 49ers.
Can you fucking imagine San Francisco and Dallas going on the road in the first round? It's like you don't even want to win your division. Like Minnesota, San Francisco coming over. Borba,
That's crazy.
Be tripping. You'll be nervous. Hey, Key wants to know who your top 5 receivers are. Let's
I'll go first.
Let's give the guys flowers though. Number 1, easy, Devontae.
Mm-hmm.
Are we talking about like just regular or right now? Week 13 in the NFL right now.
Week 13 in the NFL right now.
Let's talk about right now.
I would still put Devontae though.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty close. It's almost 1A and 1B. It's almost 1A and 1B.
I'm gonna go Devontae, and then I'm gonna hit at 2, I feel like you have to say Justin Jefferson. Like the guy's playing unbelievable right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with that so far. Third is interesting though.
Let's break it open, boys. Here we go.
All right. So I'm going Devontae just by a hair.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going Devontae by a
So-
hair.
So,
Because
but,
overall,
okay. So
he is
what
the
is
most
that?
complete
What is that
receiver.
hair though? Like that's my thing. What is
Okay,
that hair that?
go,
that-
Michael.
Well, slightly better route running, slightly, and he's more of a red zone threat. So that's you can't argue that. The 20
Okay.
touchdowns more, you just can't argue against that. So
Okay.
he produces more points. But so
Borba,
I'll take
defensive
Devontae.
touchdown. Malik Hooker, the ex-Colt,
Hooker.
taking it
Like
to the
Hooker.
house. Bye. Let's go.
Okay, number 2, I'm putting Justin Jefferson, 100%.
JJ.
Justin Jefferson.
Well, we all agreed with
JJ.
that. So yeah.
Yeah. 3, I'll put the cheetah in there at number 3 right now.
Mm.
I'll
Yeah, we're
put
gonna
I'll put
bring
the
Key
cheetah.
back into the stream. He never
I'll
left.
put-
So
Oh, he never left.
yeah. Go ahead. You said
I thought he had to get off.
No.
Oh, shoot. Oh, my bad. I thought we were.
Yeah, I
going
thought
So
he
you
had
said.
to
So
get
you
off.
said. Why, okay. Why the cheetah though? Why 3? Why 3?
I agree
He's
with this,
putting
by
up the
the way.
numbers.
I
He's putting up
agree
the
with
numbers.
Tyreek.
Now, when it comes to as your top 5 receivers, of all, I'm just taking them right now because the way they're using them in Miami is really good. Honestly, this is how they used him in Kansas City, short game, yards after catch. Not really used as a deep threat, but he is a deep threat because of his speed. But he's just used really well. So I'll take 3rd right now because he's putting up the numbers. And then 4th is this is where it starts to get interesting.
No, it says not. Not at all.
Who do you have?
Stephon
Hey.
Diggs.
Ooh.
at
Oh,
4.
I forgot about Diggs, dude.
What?
Okay, yeah, absolutely. I would honestly put Diggs.
Diggs might be 3.
Yeah, I would honestly put Diggs in front of Cheetah.
Yeah, that's a
Even
coin
though-
toss.
Even though Cheetah,
Coin toss.
even-
That is a coin toss.
but
Alright, okay.
I think no. But I'm talking about week 13 right now.
Yep.
Honestly, I'll still put Diggs. Okay, I'll switch those 2. Diggs
Yep,
is
yep, yep.
3rd.
Okay,
Diggs
now
is
go
a
to
better
5.
route
Go to
runner?
5.
Okay.
Go to number
Okay.
5. Now I want to hear it, Borba. Go to number 5. Who's number
Wait,
5?
hold on. So it's Devontae, Jetta, and then
Diggs.
Cheetah and Diggs.
Yep.
No,
Who's
it's
5?
Diggs.
No, it's Diggs and then Cheetah.
Diggs and then Cheetah. I switched those around.
I want
Dude,
Borba. I want Borba to go first. Who's number 5, Borba? I want to hear it.
Swallow your pride, bro. Go for it.
Bro, I'm taking DeAndre Hopkins.
Ooh.
Wrong answer.
Chase.
There's,
yeah.
there's no way you. Who
No,
are you
not
picking over
Jamar
Devontae?
Chase. Jamar Chase has been out.
Over Devontae though? I mean,
Who is it, Borba? Who's yours? I want to hear yours.
I don't know.
That nice
Honestly,
jersey.
I don't know. That's too hard.
DeAndre, bro.
No, I'm not picking CD either. Not
It's
at
CeeDee
all.
Lamb.
No, it's not.
Yup. Thank you.
It's
Thank
CeeDee
you.
Lamb.
It's
Thank
not.
you.
No, it's not.
Yes.
It's
Why are
CeeDee
you
Lamb.
so hyped on CD Lamb?
No, I
It's
love
CeeDee
CeeDee.
Lamb. It's CeeDee Lamb.
Put CD
CD
at
Lamb
6
is top
though.
12 right now. CD
What?
Lamb is top 12.
Wow.
Top 12.
Man,
He's
bro,
top
you're a
5 in
fucking hater,
fantasy.
bro.
It's because
I don't care.
Borba doesn't like the Cowboys. He hates the Cowboys, so he has to figure out any freaking way that
I'll
he
put
has to
AJ
degrade
Brown
them at all.
in front of-
Borba,
Oh,
CD Lamb,
stop.
Borba, CD Lamb is putting up massive numbers with a quarterback that you don't even think is top 10. Like,
And no, and
He's
not even
not.
that. He didn't even have Dak for half the year. He
Yeah,
didn't have Dak for half
Right,
the
they
year.
gave him the ball a couple times.
No.
I think 5 is pushing
all
it.
your pride in
I
the
think
game,
5 is
bro.
pushing it.
Absolutely not.
I do
and
not
honestly,
think CD Lamb is a
if
top
you want my
5.
honest opinion, if we're drafting a
I'll
team
put
right now,
Chris Godwin above CD Lamb.
if we're
Chris
drafting a
Godwin.
team right now, I'm taking
You're
CD
a
Lamb
fucking
over.
hater.
I'm taking CD Lamb over Diggs. 100%.
Wow.
No, get out
Yes.
of here. I'm
100%.
sorry.
You'll see
I
it.
don't
You'll see it.
know.
This 3 years for CD Lambs, you'll see it through his career. Just wait.
Yeah, maybe, but we're talking about right now at this moment. There's no way.
Yeah, I don't know. He's behind Diggs maybe right now, but
In
he's putting up,
fantasy,
he's
are you
putting up a
talking about
crazy year.
fantasy or if you're starting like an actual team?
Well, in both. I mean, Diggs is obviously having a crazy year, so like he's ahead of him just as far
Diggs
as
is first
Slightly.
in
as
fantasy.
yards wise. But Lamb
Right
is
now,
having a
it's
crazy year too.
different.
No, I love CD, but he does also drop the ball a lot.
And it's on crucial. It's on crucial catches too, and it's the most simplest route.
He's gonna do it.
Plant and
gonna
just
drop the
drop
ball
it
this
right
game,
then
man.
and there. But
Yeah.
then
You guys already pulled away.
he can turn around
Of course
and
he
like
did.
have a miraculous catch like he did against the Giants. But to me, that's the only downfall is that there's some times where we need him for a clutch catch.
Yo,
He can't
CeeDee
clutch
Lamb
it.
is cold, but I'm taking DeAndre Hopkins though. I just think, but maybe
I think
going based
DeAndre
off of
Hopkins
what we've
is better
seen rather than just what we have
right
right
now.
now.
Yeah, yeah. If you're going off right now, you can't take him. And Hopkins is good too, but I don't know.
Nah,
You do,
Hopkins
bro.
is nice. The only reason that Arizona even can score points right now is because of DeAndre.
Yeah, man, it's because of the Call of Duty it's the Madden plays that they draw.
No, that guy stinks. Get Kyler Murray's little 5-foot ass out the league. What
It's
are we
because
doing?
they say, "Hey, coach, I played this in Madden. Let me go run it."
I forgot who.
Kyler's ass.
I think it was that.
Kyler sucks.
I can't stand the show, but I did see a clip. That Emmanuel Ocho guy,
Yeah,
and he had
he's
a pretty.
annoying.
He had a pretty. I mean, it was a little jacked up, but kind of went off on Kyler Murray about like, which he's right, but so he talks about how can you be that confident and have that big of an ego when you haven't done anything in the league. And
Yeah,
it was
Kyler
they were
Murray was
reacting.
anointed a top 10 quarterback.
They were
and he
reacting
hasn't
to that
done
Patrick
anything.
Peterson comment.
Yeah.
Your boy Patrick Peterson went after him. That's
Kind of
pretty
called
wild.
him out. I don't know. Like, yeah, he said that all he cares about is himself.
All right, boys.
Kyler Murray shot back and said it wasn't true, but
Let's
I don't
finish
know.
up. Let's
Kinda
finish
seems like
up
it is.
and we'll catch y'all Sunday.
Yeah.
T, if you want to come on, brother, come on whenever.
Absolutely, man. I
I
appreciate it.
appreciate you.
Yeah,
All right,
thanks
boys.
for
Y'all have a
coming
good
over.
night, man.
All
Go
right.
Cowboys. We're going
Later.
to the fucking Super Bowl, Borba. Let's go.
Hey, I'm gonna
Skull-
get that belt
skull
again.
to the ball.
I'm keeping the belt, guys. I'm gonna keep the belt.